The air hung heavy, thick with humidity and the stench of decay. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the dense canopy, casting the jungle floor in perpetual twilight. This was Vietnam, a land of breathtaking beauty, yet a battleground scarred by conflict. The silence was deceptive, broken only by the chirping of insects and the rustling of leaves. But beneath this serene facade, a deadly game of cat and mouse was being played out. The Vietnam War was unlike any other, fought not on open battlefields but in the treacherous embrace of the jungle. Here, conventional warfare was useless. The enemy was elusive, melting into the foliage, only to reappear with deadly force. This was guerrilla warfare at its most cunning, a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the Viet Cong. The roots of the Vietnam War ran deep, entangled in the complex web of colonialism and Cold War politics. The Vietnamese people, yearning for independence after decades of French rule, found themselves caught in the crossfire between the communist North and the US-backed South. Outnumbered and outgunned, the North Vietnamese turned to unconventional tactics, waging a guerrilla war against a technologically superior enemy. Their battlefield was the dense jungle, their weapon of choice, the element of surprise. The Viet Cong, masters of camouflage and deception, used the terrain to their advantage, turning the familiar into the foreign, the safe into the deadly. They were fighting for their homeland, every inch of soil sacred, every tree a potential hiding place. This deep connection to the land fueled their determination, making them a formidable and unpredictable enemy. The American soldiers who landed in Vietnam found themselves in a bewildering and terrifying new reality. Gone were the familiar front lines, replaced by an enemy that was everywhere and nowhere. The jungle itself seemed to be alive, whispering secrets in the wind, concealing dangers beneath its verdant cloak. The Viet Cong were masters of stealth, their knowledge of the terrain unmatched. They moved like phantoms, their black pajamas blending seamlessly with the shadows, their footsteps muffled by the undergrowth. To the American soldiers, they were an invisible enemy, a constant source of fear and paranoia. Every rustle of leaves, every snapped twig could signal an impending attack. The Viet Cong employed a chilling array of traps and ambushes, each one a testament to their resourcefulness and intimate understanding of the jungle. These were not weapons of mass destruction, but instruments designed to inflict maximum pain and psychological terror. The jungle, once a source of beauty, was transformed into a minefield of death. One of their most feared traps was the punji pit. Hidden beneath a thin layer of leaves and dirt, these pits were lined with sharpened bamboo stakes, often smeared with feces or poison to ensure a slow and agonizing death. Another ingenious device was the whip trap, a deceptively simple yet brutally effective weapon. A tripwire strung across a path would trigger a bent sapling, its sharpened end swinging down with bone-crushing force. Section 5. The Invisible Enemy. The psychological toll on the American soldiers was immense. The constant fear of unseen enemies, the ever-present threat of booby traps, wore down their morale. The jungle, once a source of awe, became a symbol of dread. They were fighting an enemy they could rarely see, an enemy that could strike at any moment. The soldiers were trained for conventional warfare, taught to identify the enemy by their uniforms and flags. But in Vietnam, the enemy wore no uniform, carried no flag. They were the farmers tending their rice paddies by day, the guerrillas laying ambushes by night. This blurring of lines, this inability to distinguish friend from foe, created a climate of suspicion and paranoia. Section 6. Whispers in the Dark. The jungle was alive with sounds, a cacophony of insects, birds and animals. But to the American soldiers, these sounds were often indistinguishable from the movements of the enemy. A twig snapping underfoot could be a wild animal, or it could be a Viet Cong soldier setting off a booby trap. The soldiers, their senses on high alert, became hypersensitive to every sound, every movement. The jungle, once a source of wonder, became a source of dread. Sleep offered little respite, haunted by nightmares of unseen enemies and sudden ambushes. The psychological strain was relentless, pushing many soldiers to the brink of their sanity. Section 7. Adapting to survive. The Viet Cong's mastery of guerrilla warfare extended beyond traps and ambushes. They were masters of adaptation, utilizing their knowledge of the terrain and their network of underground tunnels to their advantage. The Cu Chi tunnels, a vast network of underground passageways, served as living quarters, supply routes, and even hospitals. This subterranean world allowed the Viet Cong to move undetected, even beneath American bases. They would launch surprise attacks, then disappear back into the earth, leaving the Americans to retaliate against an invisible enemy. The tunnels were a testament to their resilience and determination, a physical manifestation of their refusal to be defeated. Section 8. Echoes of guerrilla warfare. The tactics employed by the Viet Cong had a profound impact on military thinking, influencing conflicts long after the Vietnam War ended. From the mountains of Afghanistan to the deserts of Iraq, guerrilla warfare became a defining feature of modern conflict. The line between civilian and combatant blurred, and unconventional tactics challenged the traditional methods of warfare. The legacy of the Viet Cong can be seen in the tactics employed by insurgent groups around the world. The use of improvised explosive devices, the reliance on hit-and-run attacks, and the exploitation of urban environments all echo the strategies honed in the jungles of Vietnam. Section 9. A lasting legacy. The Vietnam War left an indelible mark on the American psyche, a scar etched deep in the national consciousness. It was a war that challenged America's perception of itself, its military might, and its place in the world. The ingenuity and resilience of the Viet Cong forced a reassessment of traditional military doctrines, highlighting the effectiveness of guerrilla warfare against a superior force. The war also brought to light the moral complexities of conflict, the devastating impact on soldiers and civilians alike. The images of the Vietnam War, once so divisive, have become a cautionary tale, a reminder of the human cost of war and the importance of diplomacy and understanding. Section 10. Tranquility after the storm. Today, the jungles of Vietnam are no longer a battleground, but a place of haunting beauty. The scars of war are slowly healing, the echoes of gunfire replaced by the songs of birds and the rustling of leaves. Yet, the memory of the conflict lingers, a testament to the human capacity for both destruction and resilience. The ingenuity and determination of the Viet Cong serve as a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit can endure. The Vietnam War, for all its tragedy and loss, also offers lessons in courage, in the will to fight for one's beliefs, and in the enduring power of the human spirit.